All right, in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to script any community video. Could be a business interview, it could be a point of interest, it could be a neighborhood tour, it could be anything that you want. The reason for that is that basically how a community script works is very similar to how you would write a letter, and let me explain. With any letter and with any story, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that's really all a script is, because when we're creating this local community content or videos around our communities, what we want to do is really just tell a story. So there's no difference in that. And virtually every reality show on television follows the exact same format today. What we'll use is Guy Ferrari's example in this video of diners, dash and dives, whatever the name of the show is. But the show with Guy Ferrari goes around and talks about grease pits of America, dude type food, if you will. And regardless of what type of show you're creating, you always have an attention getter at the very, very beginning. In that show, if you guys recall, if you're familiar with the show, it's usually in the big red car and they're teasing about the cool food we're going to have or the cool food he's about to demonstrate. So, hey, we're going to go see some burritos as big as your head. I want to see that. Cool. Doesn't matter how you started, it's an attention getter. Now, how we used to write letters, or how people do write letters, is also with an attention getter. It's called Dear Mike, right? Very, very important for the very beginning of your video. Facebook came out with a stat that was really interesting that said people decide, 74% of people decide like in the first 10 seconds whether or not they're going to watch the rest of the video. So that's very important. Your attention getter should do that. Sell them to get the rest of the video. It doesn't need to be more than 5 to 15 seconds. Now, regardless of how your attention getter is, you're always going to start in the intro. So let's just start right here. If it's the Guy Ferrari show, it's welcome to another episode of Diners, Dive-Ins, and Dash. I'm Guy Ferrari, the Food Network. Today we're standing here at Bobby's Burritos, where they make burritos as big as your head. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to gain 10 pounds of cellulite on your ass, and it's going to be awesome. Come on, let's go in there. That's how that show works, right? It usually goes, well, I got here, the first time I ate this burrito, it was so killer I had to come back here and do it, right? He gives us a little splash of his personal experience. But the point of the story is that it is a story. And the structure of this, regardless of what type of piece of content you're going to create for the next video you do, always stays the same. Really, the only thing that changes is the story. Welcome to another episode of this. Welcome to another episode of that. And that's why we like creating, what we call a show series or a show name. That's very, very, very important. The other reason why we like creating the show series is because when you have one, you stop talking about yourself and it sort of forces you to script as a storyteller because you're demonstrating on a series. I don't know why that is, just the way it is, but let's keep on going. So you'll have an intro. Again, so far we got check one, attention getter, then you got your intro. Great. Now we're going to go into the body and we're going to use, we're going to pretend we're at a beef smoker or some kind of meats, like a smoked meat, like a brisket type place, barbecue, all right? So I'll use that for the purposes of this example. Now, the very first setting, once I get in the body, I'm inviting them, hey, let's go outside and find out. I might open up the very first scene in the kitchen, probably in wherever I would cut the meat at. It's going to be scene one. Now, my transition would be something like this. And really what you're doing is you're just answering 3 questions, or you're demonstrating 3 points you want to make. In this case, I'm going to start at the very beginning of before what the food looks like before we start cooking it. Then I'm going to show us during the process, and then I'm going to reveal the food there. I'm just going to tell a quick story. So really quick, what I'm going to do here is this is going to be point 1. My transition might be, okay, now we're standing inside and we're just got done cutting all of the brisket up and it's just about to go into the big smoker right here. Now, one of the coolest things that is so unique about this place is the rub that they use. And they also cook this in this old wood burned fire smoker skillet thing. So I'm going to go ahead and tell that story to whatever it is. I would add on to it, but I think you get an idea off of where it is that I'm going there. I might talk for a minute. If this is a business interview, I might ask the question and they might talk for 90 seconds. I don't know, but there's always something unique about the story we're telling. Otherwise, we wouldn't be covering it to begin with. Now, regardless how that goes, what I do recommend is that you just go over one point at a time. Tell this point and demonstrate what points you want to make. So I'm going to tell the before the meat. Now I'm going to tell the during. Okay, so I'm going to go to a different scene and answer this exact question as well. This one might be in front of the actual smoker, right? And let's pretend that the meat at this stage has just got done cooking. Awesome. So So now we're standing in front of the smoker and the meat just got done cooking. It's been in for about 3.5 hours. And now what happens is pretty interesting because it's not done yet. We actually have to take this meat out, soak it in some apple juice, and then we're going to go put it back in for another 15 minutes. So let's go see how we pre-marinate this thing to get the meat to fall off the bones because it's so damn good. I could talk and I demonstrate that whole process if I wanted to, or if I was doing a business owner interview, they may ask this point. I don't know what it is, but I think you get the point here is that I just set up my camera in a different scene just to change up the setting behind me. Now, the point 3 I might make is the reveal, right? It's served. Let's see how it serves, and I'm going to do the tasting reveal. Like, all right, that meal took me 15 minutes or, 4 hours to cook. Now we're going to actually get to taste it. Check this out. We're going to give you a full review and tell you what it tastes like. Take us through the demonstration, and that's really what this is. We're just telling a story. Now, the outro is pretty simple. What'd you think? If you really like the way this looks, you should come eat at this place. It's amazing. It's called ABC Barbecue, located at 123 Cherry Lane. You won't be disappointed. You could also visit their website. They do catering, blah, 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 blah. I'm so-and-so with ABC Realty or whatever your thing is. It doesn't matter. The show is pretty self-explanatory. But I want you to get the point of regardless of what type of video this is. Let's pretend, and let's go back through the script and just say I was going to go do a neighborhood type video. And let's just say that my brand is that of a mom or dad. And that's just sort of how I'm branded or positioned in my wording. So welcome to another episode of Dad Knows Best. I'm Mike Cuevas with Dad Knows Best Realty, and today we're standing in the neighborhood of Temecula. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to walk you through why I believe Temecula is one of the most family-friendly one of the most family-friendly cities to live in with so many different things to go ahead and do. Now, after I get through my intro, I would go ahead and, give them the brief summary of what we're about to cover. But I might make my first point talking about the schools. And maybe I would shoot this first scene in front of a school. I'm like, so one of the things I love best about this neighborhood is the schools and how the class sizes are so small. It's one of the reasons why my wife and I decided to come to this exact location. Now, if you don't know much about the schools, I'm standing in front of, I could just go on and talk for, a couple minutes right there, get the schools. Now, point number 2 is because I'm a dad, maybe I'm going to talk more about the parks. So, okay, now I'm standing in front of the parks, and as you can get an idea here, the parks, there's like 4 or 5 parks within walking distance. The kids love it. You can play basketball here, blah, 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 blah. Now, point 3 might be me in a neighborhood walking down the street. So you're probably wondering what you get for the money. Well, let me walk you through the neighborhood, give you a quick rundown so that you know what to expect and what it costs to live in this area. Great. I'm just telling a story, but look how the structure of my script really hasn't changed. So, like I said, you could utilize this format with virtually anything you want to do in your community, whether it's a case study, point of interest, a business interview, a neighborhood tour, basically any story you want to tell. Hope this helps, and if you want to keep moving, go on to the next lesson.